Today in this video, there are unique updates from the world of martial arts. Conor McGregor never ceases to amaze. He made another big statement. Immediately after the cancellation of the fight between him and Michael Chandler, he blamed the UFC management. Also in this video, Conor calls everyone to the fight. Recently, Justin Gaethje knocked out Dustin Poirier and immediately received a challenge from Conor. Nate Diaz fought Jake Paul, and talk is already brewing about the third part of their epic trilogy. Charles Oliveira also did not stand aside. He is ready to earn a large sum in a duel with Conor. As for Charles Oliveira, he also revealed how he tried to outsmart the UFC. He admitted that he was not injured when he tried to get into a fight with Makhachev in Brazil, and it was all a bluff. And to conclude this video, Jon Jones posted footage of an exciting bout between him and Brazilian jiu-jitsu sensation Gordon Ryan. So let's start in order.
Have a look at this, lads. Yeah, just here on the top floor of my triple deck, getting a bit of work in. And look who I see over here. That's Lorenzo Fertitta's yacht Lonian. There's a shadow yacht holder to carry all the toys. And next to it there is Uncle Frank's yacht. Uncle Frank Fertitta's yacht. So the gang is in town. Yeah, just getting a bit of work in, lads. I'll be over shortly. And there's my big rocket ship Lamborghini now sailing by as well, yeah? Yep, the Fertittas, yep, the UFC. Baby, we did it. See you in a bit, lads. Absolutely.
The world's strongest league is no longer interested in a duel between him and Michael Chandler, says former UFC champion Conor McGregor. If they want, I agree, there is no problem. However, I believe that the UFC is no longer focused on this fight. The Irishman wrote on a social network, answering a fan's question.
I'm a bad man. A bad man. A bad man. The baddest. I'm the baddest man that's ever stepped foot in that big one. Real bad. Think the absolute baddest you can think. And then think of me looking down on it. That bad.
Now there are a lot of interesting options for fights, and my return date remains unchanged. I did not always care who my opponent was. I'm ready to fight anyone. A few days ago, McGregor also announced that the first point of his plans is a fight for the BMF title against Justin Gaethje, after which he intends to fight the final fight of the trilogy with Nate Diaz. The bout between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, who also served as opposing team coaches in the TUF's final season, was originally scheduled to take place before the end of the year. However, the Irish fighter's manager recently confirmed that his charges return to the octagon has been delayed until next year. While the former two-time UFC champion continues to claim that he will return to the ring before the end of this year, the Irishman is well aware that among all potential rivals, Diaz is perhaps the most convenient for him. But Chandler has, of course, lost 3 of his last 4 UFC matches. However, he was only defeated by the top fighters every time he put up an intense fight against them. Even more perilous would be a clash with Gaethje. He's currently in his prime form, which could expose the Irishman's vulnerabilities. He just defeated Poirier, and he did it so in a spectacular manner. Against his backdrop, Diaz seems like a great option. Since his last fight with Conor in August 2016, Nate has only been in 4 fights. He lost to Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards, and won against Anthony Pettis and Tony Ferguson. However, it's evident that the Stockton gangster's form is far from ideal. The same was evident in his bout with Paul. There was a sensation that if a more skilled opponent had been in place of the blocker, Nate would have been knocked out in the early rounds. Conor is an experienced fighter, and he is well aware that the fight with Diaz will help return to the UFC quite painlessly. But big questions arise as to whether Notorious himself really wants this. Or maybe it's worth having a fight with Nate according to the rules of boxing. There you can break even more money. Conor has big plans. Apparently he is aiming for a fight with the BMF title of Justin Gaethje, since he understands that in the event of a victory over Gaethje, he will appropriate all the hype surrounding Justin. But Conor has no chance of defeating Justin.
I'm skipping towards the cage. I'm singing a song that I don't even understand the words to. You're just gonna see me with kind of like Dustin came out, just hyped up. You know, Dustin came out for a war, and I gave him a ballet, and it was the best thing I could have done. I mean, he was expecting a war, and I gave him the opposite, and I guarantee that frustrated him, and he was probably very surprised. And it was perfect. It worked out perfect into my hand.
Ali Abdelaziz, the famous manager of Justin Gaethje, says that Justin has become wiser, smarter, like good wine. It only gets better with age. Gaethje is the most feared fighter to date and the most feared fighter in UFC history. There is no other fighter like him in the entire sport of MMA, said Abdelaziz. And even assuming there's going to be a fight between Conor and Chandler, what will give Conor a victory over Chandler? If McGregor concedes to Michael Chandler, his attempts to return to the top will be complicated. Losing to Chandler will lead to talk of him not even being able to beat a fighter who was defeated in his previous fights. But that's not all. Charles Oliveira said that he was ready to fight McGregor. What happens is that I am here and just waiting for him. All he has to do is tell me the place and time and I will be there. If there's an opportunity to fight McGregor, then I'm ready. Where is Conor? It doesn't matter what weight the fight will be. All he has to do is say he's ready, Oliveira said. Oliveira also revealed how he tried to outsmart the UFC. Oliveira admitted he was not injured when he tried to move the fight with Makhachev. I knew the UFC had a November event in Brazil, so I tried to move the fight to November. I just played them. It was a bluff. Obviously, nothing came out of it, so now I will fight in October, Oliveira said. But who would you like to see Conor face next? Or do you believe that Conor will simply make a return to the sport? Share your thoughts in the comments, and we move on. In a recent video, Jon Jones posted footage of an exciting bout between him and Brazilian jiu-jitsu sensation Gordon Ryan. Known for his unrivaled skills, Gordon Ryan holds a first-degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and is considered the world's best non-Gi wrestler. The meeting, which took place during the grappling session, aroused considerable interest among martial art fans.